Kirby said, a property listed for a while, great property. We have reduced the price. We have marketed and done everything, but still no offers. Kirby, that's going to happen. We are in a crazy market, and you will see that occasionally. But here is what 95% of the time the problem is. 95% of the time. Now, again, your market may be slightly different. I doubt it. In my market, I worked for many, many years in Southern California and Los Angeles suburbs. 9 out of 10 listings expired because of price. If it's in the multiple listing, if you have some decent pictures, if you have a lockbox on it, nobody came to see it, guess what? People think it's too much. It doesn't matter what you think. Here is another important language. This is straight from Presentation Plus. Seller does not set the price. You, as an agent, don't set the price. Who sets the price? The market. What is the most the buyer is willing to pay? If the buyer is not willing to pay $500,000, it doesn't matter what the seller wants for it. It doesn't matter what the seller thinks it's worth. It doesn't matter what they owe on it, when they bought it, how much they pay for it. None of that matters. It's going to come down to, is the buyer willing to pay that much? Your job as an expert is to determine what price will bring that buyer and make them offer a good price for that property. And so many agents get stuck here. They don't have the balls, the confidence, or the desire to be honest with the seller, to tell them the truth. Mr. Seller, I very much appreciate you want to get $600,000 for it. 700,000, 800,000. I very much appreciate you think that's what it's worth. We're not here to discuss what it's worth because you and I don't set the price. It's only up to the market. And based on the analysis we've done, even you can clearly see what's going on. Then in order for you to be in Colorado 2 months from now, hanging out with your granddaughter, enjoying the retirement that you want, the list price needs to be $649,000. What do you want to do? Would you rather stay? Shut up. Let them process. Let them think. Let them digest the information. Let them compare the pain of staying versus the joy of living with the granddaughter in Colorado. I had sellers, I would sit there for 2, 3, 4 minutes in silence. It felt like an hour. But don't talk. Let their brain process staying going, staying going, staying going. Can they trust you? Because you already know that they're thinking, well, maybe we can get another agent. The only difference is the other agent may not be as honest as you. Will get the listing hoping for a price reduction later. And I know you want to serve your clients well. I understand that. I know you want to do the best job for them possible. But you're doing them a disservice by misleading them about price. Or worse, you don't know what the right price should be. Then it's your competence that's in question. Because you, as an expert, especially in this crazy volatile market we have right now, need to know exactly what price will cause a property to sell. You don't know exactly what it's going to sell for, but you need to be pretty damn close. That's what your expertise comes in. That's why you need to study the market, preview properties all the time, know what's going on with interest rates, school districts, everything that impacts property value. That's your job. That's your core qualification. And those who don't know this don't deserve to get paid or be in this business. The good news is, you spend a few weeks studying, you're going to be on top of it. It's not that hard. You don't need an engineering or accounting degree to really figure this out. There are a few factors that impact property value. There are a few things you need to pay attention to. Are we in a flat market? Is it going up? Is it going down? Where is it going to go? Days on the market. How long does it take for a good listing to get offers? Because if I know, like in my market right here, it takes about 7 days at the most to get a property under contract that shows nice and that is priced right. So if I have a listing on the market for 14 days with 0 offers, I already know I got a major red flag. You with me? Do your homework, sharpen your skills. And there's also communication skills. Because you want to communicate it to the seller, not in an arrogant way, like, fuck you, you want $700,000, what are you, stupid? How do I push this property and keep the seller interested and not take it off the market? Kirby, you can't. You can't. Because at the end, you cannot make that call. It is not up to you. Your job, just like a doctor cannot make you go for a surgery. Doctor can explain to you, we can do surgery, we can take care of it, or you can go home and suffer. Here's what's going on. Same thing with you, Kirby. You need to be the provider of guidance. Because what's going to come down to is, in the seller's mind, and we all do this. This is, again, back to neurobiology and psychology. We process information, and the seller's processing the information. What happens if I stay versus what happens if I go? And if there is not enough discomfort and pain with staying, and there is not enough joy and passion and some positive emotion attached to living somewhere else, you don't have a seller. You don't have a deal. If there is no problem that's going to be solved by them moving, whether it's being close to the family, whether it's getting a nice big house, whether it's job transfer. There are dozens of reasons why people move. But if there's no strong emotion attached to it, there's nothing you can say or do to motivate people. I mean, shit, guys, think about it. I have a program that I believe everybody who goes through it will make you $250,000 or more if you do the work. And I have a hard time selling people on it. You should take it, you should do it. Even people who are in the program, I just tell them, show up every Monday. We have a Monday huddle. We make a plan. You execute that plan. You'll be golden. You can take a listing a week. I can't convince you. How do you expect you convince your sellers? It doesn't work that way. I can't. I can guide you. I can lead you, inspire you, give you information. Same thing with your sellers. Now, here's another part to it. Don't get attached. Don't get attached. Maybe they will move. Maybe they won't. Maybe they're better off staying. Be okay with that as an option with all the sellers you deal with. It's actually one of the questions I love to ask. I would walk through the property. You know how some sellers say, you know, we remodeled, we got the new ceiling fans, and we got this, and we got that. And I would point blank ask them, and this throws them off, and that's my intention. I would ask them, Jim, you got a great house. Why not just keep it? Why not stay? And it so throws them off. No other agent ever asked that. But I want to see their reaction. I want to measure. Is there a problem? Would there be pain if they stay? Or are they so excited about being on a golf course or being in the mountains or being somewhere else? And the answer is, nah, I don't have a seller. Because I tell you, the only thing worse than not having listings is having listings with sellers who don't want to move or don't need to, who have all the time in the world. Then you're going to invest time, they're going to suck you dry for energy, for resources, for effort, and at the end you're going to bring them a good offer and they'll be like, nah, we want more. Don't do that. There are plenty of great motivated sellers out there. You have to look for them. Find them. Don't get stuck with non-motivated people. Premium home sales for sale. Would like to know, do the sellers look for the agents on their websites, Google, before accepting an appointment with them? Some do, yes, absolutely. I have a generic Keller Williams website. I try to change pictures and words more accurate to my style, but I have to be honest, it's not an amazing luxury website. You don't need amazing luxury website, but yes, people look up your information. They will look you up on social, most. They will look you up on Google. So having a nice, clean, decent website, I think, is important. Will it get you a boatload of deals? Will it be a deal breaker? No. In most cases, no. But it is definitely good to have a good, clean social media, engaging Instagram and Facebook post, maybe YouTube channel, and definitely a nice website where you demonstrate those things we talked about: who you are, what you do, where you do business, how to get in touch with you, and why you can be trusted. You don't need fancy 3D stuff. You don't need a boatload of testimonials, but a few nice testimonials plus an example of who you are. And here's a trick. Don't just share the business stuff. What resonates with people very often and what makes you stand out and makes you unique and kind of relatable is also the personal stuff. It happened to me twice that I had a listing appointments where I told the clients where I suggested the price and they were not agreed. They hired other realtor and finally sold at the same price I told them. What can I do in those cases? Patricia, what a good question. My recommendation again would be where you probably lost them was at the beginning. And I know that hurts. You tell them 640, they go with another agent, the other agent lists at 750, and then withers them down, nips, price reduction, finally it sells for 640 or even less. And you just want to pick up the phone and go, I told you so, what's the matter with you, right? I can relate to it. It happens to all of us. Once in a while, it's just going to happen. Here's what I would recommend. Number one, better strong impression. Good strong impression. You cannot be a weak agent and you cannot be aggressive agent. You need to be right in the middle. So I would work on the first impression first and foremost. Watch your follow-up. What happens during the follow-up? Are you reinforcing the persona or the image of an authority, real estate authority? You've got to be in control. How you qualify the seller, how you clear what is it that they're trying to do. Make sense? And then I would work on a rock-solid pre-listing and listing process, like the Presentation Plus. And I'm going to teach it again probably. The bootcamp was very successful. You guys really liked it, where we take it apart, the whole process, and we spent 4 weeks building it. So I might do it again, and you get the Presentation Plus from me. A lot of it happens in advance. They get a pre-listing package with your resume, with a market overview, not a CMA, just an overview, with some marketing samples. Again, reinforcing, I'm the authority, I'm the expert. You must have these things in place. And then during the presentation, I would address it, especially if I know there are other agents, and I would, in a pre-qualification call, which there's a video you can watch, where it's about an 8-10 minute conversation with the seller, one of the questions I ask is, are you going to be interviewing other agents? And I want them to be honest with me because I want to know who my competition is, when are they coming, because here's what I will do. First, I would do a preemptive strike. I would say, that's fantastic, talk to more people, just do me a favor. They're going to try to close you. They're going to try to list you on the spot because they either don't know or don't want to disclose the things that I do as far as my marketing. Some agents just feel like it's too expensive or too complicated. So this way you can compare. I'm not saying you need to list with me, but I think it would be good for you to at least know what options you have. So would you promise me to hold off? You can always go back to them. And most sellers says, yes, no problem. So now I block the competition with a preemptive strike. Then during the presentation, I would sit down with the seller, virtually or physically, and I would say, Jim, here's the problem. There will be agents out there, either you've met already or you're going to meet, and you will notice the prices vary wildly. That they're not even close to the price that we're discussing now, the number we're discussing now. Do you wonder that? I want them to say yes. I want them to be open. I want them to feel safe to tell me the truth, saying, you know what, we talked to Susan down the street. She said she can get us $50,000 more. So we're thinking about going with her. I want them to tell me that. I want them to feel honest and open and trust me enough to give me that information, because now I have something real that I can work with. You with me? So I would acknowledge it. And I say, first I will do a pattern interrupt, and I will throw it out there, and it's almost like I flick them in the face, but you have to be very gentle and compassionate with it. But I would say, I wonder why they lie to you. And I would just look them straight in the eye. Now this requires some confidence and some skill. Because you don't want to say, I wonder why those assholes lie to you. It's a very different message, right? The tonality is very different. Intention is very different. But I would say, I wonder why they lie to you. Because what's the truth? Is Susan lying to the seller? And there are only two reasons why Susan is lying to the seller. Either they don't know the market enough, they're not an expert, maybe Susan is out of the area, or she just doesn't know, she didn't do her homework. That's a possibility. More likely, she's telling you the price you want to hear so that she can get the listing. And whether it sells or not doesn't really matter a whole lot, because she's going to put a sign out there, get some buyers, get paid, sell some other homes, which is fine, except you'll be stuck here. The second alternative, she's going to play price reduction game. She's going to come back later and says, well, we're a little high, we need to adjust the price. And at the end, the buyers start wondering what's wrong with the house, why hasn't it sold? And you may walk away with less. Neither one of these scenarios, I believe, is fair to you. It's perfectly fine if you decide to go with her, you just need to be aware of what's going on. What would you like to do? And I just sit there, and I just let them process, and I'm quiet, and I'm not fidgeting, I'm not doing anything, I'm totally comfortable. I let them tell me the truth. Because only one of two things will happen. Either I will get the listing, or I will not. And I'm okay with either one. I will do my best to get that listing because I want to serve that client, because I know they're in much better hands with me than Susan. But there comes a point where no matter what I do or say, I can't get it. I will wish them best of luck. Get up, walk out. And the fact that I have the freedom to walk away just like they do, this freedom that creates no attachment, you can almost touch it. It's so evident. And clients so love it, and they so respond to it, and it makes you so genuine and authentic, where they know they have the freedom to say, no thanks, just like you do. And you having that freedom is so liberating. Because in your mind, you know, plenty of business, 4.72 million transactions this year. I'm going to get my share no matter what. Maybe with these people, maybe not.